That road right there leads to nowhere. Seeing where they going, I don't even want to go there. Seeing how they joking, looking like the only pro here. My principles are school, y'all sure you want to go there? The wolves back out, you scared, find you a safe house. Not saying that we violent, just saying we need a way out. Dead niggas sleep, broke niggas looking for handouts. Fuck niggas wearing dresses and skirts so they can stand there. Gotta get it, how you live, you scamming and writing checks. Home invasions for the weed, explain it to your connect. That was needed for the bail, somebody gonna be upset. These are risks you consider committed to your success. She loves street niggas, you love her looking the dress. She died to get to Paris, you dying for your respect. She told him you the plug, you getting it from the west. Grab your lead and your paper, they about to give you a test. All lies on you. I just wanna be a fucking shooter, so I can write it down, talk about it in my music. Say I just wanna be somebody. I just wanna be known for selling drugs, so I can get the same respect as all the thugs. Say I just wanna be somebody, yeah. Walk of shame, please. Let me call you that Uber. You did it for the gram of some drinks. I owe it to you. You was talking slick to my man. That man's a shooter. Now you can leave the rope at the door, slippers included. I gross domestic product of social media narcissists. We all shooting stars and all shooting the fathers. When really all we are is a notch on the belt, and the belts in the closet, in the closets in the small ass house getting demolished. The complicated dynamics of the honest true percentage of real actual chances of you becoming rich over nothing is outlandish. But you still gonna try it, and I won't understand it. But I'm a simple mister, get his energy from planet, so I don't write destructive and promote drinkers, addicts. Atheists, I get it, goddamn, it's satanics and an opioid addiction through the music's underhanded. But all feels in war against yourself, including damage. They out here selling dreams, and I see you took advantage. But that pie in the sky that don't never plan on landing. Got big bright ideas you'll never plan on planning. Time keeps moving like its favorite song is on, and it's out here jamming. Instead of changing the song, you just keep on dancing. Whether right or wrong, you know real niggas do real things that get put on. So I just wanna be a fucking shooter, so I can write it down, talk about it in my music. Say I just wanna be somebody. I just wanna be known for selling drugs, so I can get the same respect as all the thugs. Say I just wanna be somebody, please. It's the upside down. It's the upside down. It's the upside down. It's the upside down. It's upside down. What's right is wrong, and what's wrong is right. What's wrong is right. What's wrong is right. And what's right is wrong, and what's wrong is right. What's right is right. What's right is right. It's the upside down. Upside down. Upside down. It's the upside down. Upside down. It's the upside down. Upside down. It's upside down, it's upside down, it's upside down, it's Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Saturday to you and yours. You understand what I'm saying? Good energy. Good energy. Not so much happy energy, but good energy. Positive energy. Let's say that. Positive energy. I can't force you to be happy. I can't even force you to be positive, but I do feel the more positive energy you have, the more productive, the more efficient you will operate. And that's just my belief, you understand? I want to talk about a couple of things today. So let me tell you where all this derived from, rather than me just trying to articulate what it is I want to talk about. This is rather impromptu. Because, like I've told you guys before, I feel the spirit speaks to me anywhere from like 3 in the morning at 5 in the morning, right? And then I may wake up and then an idea is just there, right? And then I just ponder on it and go with it. So what happened this morning, the idea of the magnetic force, I woke up with that on my mind, right? And what do you mean by the magnetic force, Saladin? Um, so in my mystery school, they had taught me that the magnetic force was underneath our feet, right? So below us, and then the electrical force was above us, right? And I'm not saying it was right, but I'm just telling you what was on my mind. I'm not saying it was wrong, right? It's a theory. So I wanted to know more about this. So I got up and started studying this. But I don't know if they ever taught me this in middle school or elementary or whatever the case may be. But I felt like this was brand new knowledge to me for some reason. Like I had no idea what was going on, but I really desired to understand what was going on. How is this electro? Well, first of all, I understand there's a word called electromagnetic or electromagnetism. I understand that, but how does it work? And does it affect me as a human being? And if it does affect me, then how does it affect me? This is what I woke up thinking. Get into the brass of it because I want to watch a video this morning, right? And I want to discuss some things. By the way, that song that you just heard, if you heard it, I don't even know if you heard it, right? I could have been listening. StreamYard does weird business, so I could have been listening to it by myself. Nonetheless, the song is called "The Upside Down" by Jamel Saladin. You understand? "The Upside Down" by Jamel Saladin. I did have a video up, but I've gotten upset with YouTube in the past year, change, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and I've destroyed a number of my projects off the internet, right? So I've taken down music. 2024, and I'm going to record a new album by the end of the year. It might have to be a double album. It might have to be. I think I waited long enough, and I think it's a good year. If anything, last quarter 2024 or first quarter 2025, album is coming out. So what I did discover, I discovered that you have an inner core, and then you have an inner outer core of the Earth, right? Which they call the outer core, and this material is mostly made up of nickel and iron, right? Which is a conductor of electricity. Also, one of the primary materials for used in magnetizing. But in my studies, I discovered something that whenever there's electricity, there's an automatic magnetic field. See, I didn't know none of this. See, it helps to really understand the dynamics of something. Like it really does. And I get thrilled by this, right? It I get excited about this. Not saying that anybody else has to get excited about this. I don't think it makes you a nerd because it's the reason why I want to understand. And when I get excited about understanding, I know that there's power. See, there's an old phrase that says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." Now, if you have knowledge with no understanding, that's crazy. I don't even know if you have knowledge, right? But you do. You could probably regurgitate something back this time, but you don't really understand it. That's crazy because I wouldn't be the first person to have done that, right? Plenty of people do these things. Now, from what I heard Einstein say one time, which now I take as the rule of thumb, if you can't explain it, you don't understand it. So, sometimes you grasp the idea so strong that you're like, yeah, 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 I get it. But then when it's time to give it back, peace, Aldo, peace to the gods and the earths. Aldo 260's in the building, y'all. And he came right in at 11:11. That was crazy. Right in at 11:11. I'm looking at the clock, how many minutes I'm up here. So he came in at 11 minutes and 1 second. This is the universal language for synchronicity, right? But never mind all that. I was talking about understanding. And if you can't understand it, if you can't explain it, you really don't understand it. That's what Einstein said. So this morning, as I woke up to discover, does the earth really create a magnetic field? Then I discovered this morning upon researching that anytime there is electricity, there is a magnetic field placed around this thing. Whoa. Okay. I did not understand. Okay. I'm starting to get a little excited because your boy's understanding a little something, something. Always told you guys, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Okay. A little electricity magnetism going on that I fully understand, but I wanted to go deeper, right? So I went down a rabbit hole this morning and then I found out that anytime an atom loses an electron, that electron becomes a free electron, right? But outside of that, anytime an atom loses an electron, it gets any positive charge, which is like electricity, pop, a positive charge. So I'm getting excited still. I'm starting to understand. Mac Mizzles, what's good with you, bro? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk this morning. Let's talk this morning, beloved. Before we get out here in these streets, let's build like the old gods used to do. You understand? Just build with one another. Before the gods turned to bloods. Before the gods turned to blood. We was out here building. You understand? Shout out to the father, Clarence Allah. Huh? Hey, don't let me deceive you. I have no religion, so I'm not God body or anything. Obviously, I know a lot of gods, right? Obviously. But I just want to build with everybody this morning. Because I think it's imperative that when we understand, when we understand ourselves, they try very hard, y'all. Just put a pin and tack in that right where I left off, right? We was talking about negative and positive charges. We're gonna get to that in a second. They try their hardest for y'all not to understand yourself. You have to understand this. When you understand this, you will take offense. You will start to take offense and you will go out your way now. You will be conscious, you will be aware, you will say, no, I know what you're trying to do.
And then what it is you won't stop looking at these things. You would look at them differently. What you would do is there would be a cutoff point on how much nonsense you expose yourself to, because what you're going to have to do is make time for actual knowledge, right? You just have to do that. Once you understand, yo, you trying to throw me off, Lord? Once you understand that Will Smith actually got up out of his seat at this program and performed the verbatim actions of a script in a movie that was done before he did it. Before he did it. So he got up out of his chair. Yo, keep my name on my wife's name out your mouth. And went up there and smacked another guy on stage. Then it turns out this was already done in a movie. What? This is crazy. That held our attention for like weeks, if not months, or the rest of the year that was talking about that. Total distraction. Meanwhile, what we're going to talk about today, because I discovered a lot of stuff. And party people, please don't listen to everything that ChatGPT says, right? So it's okay to utilize ChatGPT as some type of resource, but if I was you, I would have double resources, because I've learned ChatGPT does not always tell me the truth. It doesn't. Again, I ask ChatGPT questions I know the answer to all the time, and then it was going to give me some BS answer, and then when I challenge it, it'd be like, nah, you right, beloved. Oh God. Then why'd you tell me this? Now, what if I was some innocent mind that did not know, and I'm relying on you to tell me? Because I think you are artificial intelligence and you should know. And here it is, you spewing out utter nonsense to me. Now, I'll get what I'm talking about this morning, because that discussion came up because of what we're going to talk about with the military, um, putting graphite particles and flakes in the air. Oh, yeah. This has been done since, far as I know, the 1990s. It could have been done before that, right? Now, graphite and graphene are two different things. Graphite is natural, in my opinion. Me and ChatGPT started arguing this morning because ChatGPT tried to tell me that graphene is natural. It can't be natural if it derived from graphite. And the only way that it was created and discovered was something called the Scotch tape strategy, where the graphite is stripped of its layers of carbon, right? So it produces another substance called graphene. Well, we don't need to get into that. All you needed to understand was they're two different things, and ChatGPT tried to tell me they were both natural. So that is where my argument derived. So I said, how is the second one natural if it had to be created? Well, it derived from blood. How is it natural though? If they did not create it in a lab, if they never created it, we would not have it. Technically, you're right. I already know that. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. I already know I'm right, ChatGPT. Let's not do this. We was having a positive morning. I got my coffee. You understand? Let's not do this, bro. It's early in the morning. Now, we was talking about electric charges, positive charges, and what I learned. So I had not known this. I had not known. I'm pretty sure I was taught it, but was I paying attention? No. I don't know if there was a subject in school I cared about. Not what. Maybe social studies. That was my best subject, right? I was proud. Hey, I'm doing good in social studies. Ugh, my mother was fed up. No one cares. No one cares. right? Math, I didn't apply myself. That's what it was. It's not that I wasn't great. One year, I consciously applied myself just to see what would happen if I did so. I got A's. Then I immediately stopped paying attention and got F's. I just was like, all right, I could do it. And now, good sir, I'm out. And I started cutting class again. And I spent all of my time in TV production, which is why I did not walk the stage because the math teacher said, you didn't even come to class. You got one A and then you disappeared. Yes, this is true. This is true. But actions have consequences. And my punk ass had to go to summer school and graduate to summer school. Here's the thing. I wasn't walking the stage anyway. I didn't care. But so even if I would have graduated on time, I was still gonna skip the graduation. So it did not matter. I hated school. The only thing I liked about school was TV production. Anyway, I digress, obviously. Fall down the rabbit hole. Hence why the rabbit is on my thumbnail. I can do that. I go down rabbit holes. But let's get back to this, what I learned today and how this applies to today, right? Because just understanding first, does electricity, like how does this happen? Magnetism. But like I told you, anytime there's electricity, there's an automatic magnetism. To my understanding, is the vice versa too, right? So as I'm learning all this, I said, oh, okay. So ultimately, this giant iron nickel core in the middle of the earth is creating this electric charge through the heat, right? And because the earth is rotating, there's something called convection where the heat from that is created because of the earth moving around on this core, the material that's the hottest rises up, right? And then the material at the top that is cooler sinks down, right? And the earth is doing like this at the same time. But anyway, this is creating heat, which is also creating a atomic change where the atoms are losing what? Electrons. And what happens when you lose electrons? Boom, you said it, not me. You get a positive charge, right? So all of this stuff is going on. I'm fascinated this morning. Oh, snap. I didn't know none of this. Well, if you'd have paid attention in school instead of whatever you was doing, you would have known this, bud. You would have known this. Why am I fascinated? And why, again, I do feel like if a lot of our children was, even in ourselves, if we was to understand this, but a lot of us don't feel like this don't got nothing to do with nothing. Right? I'm never going to use this. So why do I need to know this? Wrong. Wrong. When you say you're never going to use this, that is absolutely wrong. That is false. Because if you understood the metals that was in your body, we're talking about never mind the metal. Let's say materials. Forget the metals. Let's say materials because there's more than one metal in your body, but metal is not the only conductive thing in your body. Now, is it? What is the largest conductive thing in your body? Water. Thank you. What is very conducive? The flow of, we're talking about the flow of electricity. Shout out to Aldo 260. He says each of humans have a electromagnetic field around us. I would be remiss to challenge him, right? Now he sounds confident by saying that. I would not challenge him after what I learned this morning. So I would have to agree with him unless somebody has another theory. That's me though. And the only reason I say that is because I found out this morning that automatically around any positive charge, electricity, positive charge, there's an automatic magnetic field around that from the smallest particle to the largest. From the smallest particle to the largest. So if the earth is creating this, think about the giant earth, the giant core. And I just told you how electricity, the positive charge was created, right? So it's creating this positive charge, which is electric charge. And if I told you that around any electric charge, there's automatic magnetic field around it, then hence there has to be electromagnetism, right? And that field is going to cover the entire earth. Now, what the scientists have deemed is this field usually looks like lines, right? So it looks like electromagnetic lines emanating from the north to the south pole. Boom, 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 all around, right? And not that it has anything to do with us, but it does say, I think it does that electromagnetic field black out some radiation from the sun. I could be wrong there. That part I may be freestyling. So then I take that. I could be freestyling there. Take that with a grain of salt. What I just said about the blocking the radiation sun. But if electricity flows more freely through conducive things like certain metals, and especially water, then I got to thinking. And I was like, yo, how does this affect the human being? Because we have gold in our body. We definitely have iron in our body. Definitely have iron, right? Because the iron helps the oxygen flow through our body, through the hemoglobin in our blood, right? Um, Iron helps with the DNA, with repairing cells and rejuvenating cells. Now, this was the start of me arguing with ChatGPT also, because I had asked it what are the metals that was in our body. And it said graphite. It named a few. Calcium. It named a few metals. But when it said graphite, I was like, what? Who's that? Westbrook? Who does a face like that? One of those faces. Graphite. Now, me myself, I've only been introduced to graphene within a couple of years because 2016 there was a European global summit where nanotechnology was being introduced to the world leaders. Not only was nanotechnology being introduced, but something called graphene, which I just told you, you get graphene from graphite, and you have to strip the graphite in order to get graphene. Yaku business, right? It's all mad scientist business. Overall, it's highly conductive, right? Can be used to for channels of electricity to flow through. In this 2016 summit, they were basically discussing how the use of graphene was going to become more popular, but not just popular like just using graphene, right? They were going to use it in the human body. They were going to start using it in the human body. 2016, they said this. So, being that the world leaders already they're privileged to this information, right? They got invited to this summit. You have to be somebody, obviously, in this world, considered somebody worth sharing this knowledge with. And I guess one of the benefits is they get to run back to their lair and strike up opportunity, right? Be the first to strike up opportunity. And one of the questions was how much graphene can be in the body before it is detrimental. Meaning, how much graphene is going to kill a human person? Because obviously they could see the benefits right away, right? Like, oh, snap. We got. Imagine you had a wireless router in your house, right? But you notice that when you go to the kitchen, it's not that strong. But the closer you come to it in your bedroom, then you're like, it's strong, right? But you're like, yo, I would like to like at least. I don't got cable, right? So if you don't have cable, then you would at least like to go to the kitchen and put on Netflix while you're cooking your chicken. But every time you go that far away, it loses strict strength, the signal, right? But if you had an extender, and what do they suggest? An antenna, right? All right. Then that signal will become stronger. So your body is naturally receiving and transmitting information naturally. But if you had an antenna in your body, the signal would be stronger. That's what I was assuming that most people were thinking at this summit. This signal would be graphene, right? And how would that work? Well, graphene, because it is stripped down from graphite, it is very strong, extremely strong, but extremely thin. It is stronger than diamond and steel. These are the facts I'm telling you this morning. The facts. Graphene is stronger than diamond and steel. It is thinner than a human hair. It is transparent. It is flexible. City Bama, good morning, bro. It is flexible and it is highly conductive. Now, what am I trying to look at? Oh, where is it at? Give me a second. Hope I didn't get rid of that. That would be crazy. I don't see it up here. Is that it? There it is right there. All right, cool. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Um, this right here. Now, again, let me show you my resources because I don't want you to think I'm on some random site. A lot of you guys, you don't believe it unless it comes from some type of government agency or some type of authority figure, right? So that's why I try to stay close to those type of resources or sources, period, because you won't believe it. And I don't want to be called a quack or something like that. I've been called worse up here, but anyway, National Institute of Health, right? The NIH, National Library of Medicine. So I think we're good there. This is a government website, right? So I think we could trust, you guys could trust that. Anyway, something, I looked up something this morning and it said graphite smoke. And I don't even know what I was researching. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how I got here, right? I don't know what rabbit hole I went down. All of a sudden, I seen graphite smoke and I was like, what is graphite smoke? That's crazy. Immediately, morning Santiago, Awago on you. Big up, bro. Thank you for joining me this morning, Santiago. Thank you for joining me this morning, everybody. You understand? We just building over here, bro. We really just getting started too. Immediately when I seen graphite smoke, you know where my mind went to? Immediately my mind went to, I didn't even read it, and my mind went to the fires. Because as long as I've been around, I've never witnessed anything like the Canadian fires. We talk about and understanding this one in Santiago. We talking about the materials that's in us, right? Like the iron that's in us, like the metals that's in us. Are they affected by the electromagnetic field around us, right? How does that affect us? So at the core of everything, that's what we're discussing. But we will be discussing, you know how I work, bro. You know I'll be cooking it up. You understand? So we're gonna watch a video in a second, get the thoughts percolating on all of that. All I gotta do is plant the seeds. A lot of time, I don't gotta explain everything in detail. Everybody, they'll pick it up. But let's get back to this smoke, because that's what it says right here. It says graphite smoke. Graphite smoke. So immediately when I see graphite smoke, I'm like, graphite smoke. Boom. I was triggered about the Canadian fires, right? We all seen the Canadian fires. We turned on YouTube or whatever it was, and there was a helicopter flying over some trees, pouring fire on the trees. None of us understood this, right? We was like, yo, what kind of technique is that to put out fire? They have not answered us yet. So I'm going to assume this was not a technique. Rather, it was the wrong footage. Some imbecile over at the news media channel put out the wrong footage. He should have showed water being put on the fire on the trees. Instead, he shows fire being put on the trees, which would cause fire. And therefore, we have the Canadian fires, allegedly. That's how they got started. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I saw. And what does not make sense. What does not make sense is you pouring fire on top of wooden trees. It does not make sense. Nonetheless, there was smoke that went all the way from Canada to Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Maine, and this wasn't like a little bit of like you could smell it but you couldn't see it. No, this actually turned the entire New York City red like Mars. Right away, I said, nah, 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 nah. I might have been born at night because I think I was. It's just the only thing is I wasn't born last night. That's the only thing. Like I might have been born at night because I think I was, but the only thing is I wasn't born last night. That's your problem right there. So why did you allow this to happen? What was in it for you? What were you testing? What was you testing? Is what I said. What did you want to blanket? Why did you blanket this part of the earth? Was there things that you did not want us to see? Was there something that you wanted us to ingest? This is immediately what I said. Okay, so as I start to read this, the first topic is military applications. I said, thank you. Let's get that out the way ASAP, right? I don't got to do a whole lot of digging into this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that first. So it says the military uses graphite flakes to block electromagnetic waves that the enemy might detect and use to target troops in the field. Graphite flakes provide the military with protection beyond the visual and infrared spectrums. This was written in 1993. This was, anyway, this source, let me say that. This source is from 1993. So I said, damn, 1993? Yeah. So the military, if it was 1990, if this source is from 1993, I'm going to just give it a good 10 years that they've been using it. The military releases graphite flakes into the environment from ground-based systems that mechanically disperse bulk powders into the atmosphere. 1994. What? What are you talking about? Right? Y'all putting grinded up graphite flakes in the air? Did y'all ask? Does that affect me as a human being? Am I breathing that? Now, anytime somebody asks that question, they already know the answer, right? So it's really a rhetorical question because you know in your heart you had to breathe that. It's no, you did you put on a mask to filter out those particles? So, beloved, you had to breathe it. You like, yo, where did they use this? Does this affect me? How? Does this shorten my lifespan? Like, what is going on? It says the powder is used directly or compressed into small pellets to improve handling and delivery into the air ejector of smoke generators. What? Oh, y'all out here playing psyop games. Would that be dangerous if the military or government, never mind the military, if the government was using the same tools that they use on their enemies to test on their civilians? Would that be dangerous? How would you feel about that? Let us move on. Because the aerodynamic sizes of air dispersed flakes are small, 20 micrometers, there is little near source surface deposition of particles. Near source deposition can be substantial if the air ejector is oriented at the ground or nearly parallel to the ground. The low range downwind patterns resulting from dispersion and disposition depend on logical meteorological conditions. They got kind of nerdy at the end. Too many big words. It can throw you off. It can throw me off. This is why I read things like multiple times, but I'm not doing that to you this morning. Let's get to the second thing: physical and chemical properties. It says graphite is soft, crystalline form of carbon that occurs naturally and is also synthesized for various uses. That was written in, this is sourced 1991, right? So we're getting a date now of how long they've been playing with graphite, which would give us another idea of how long they've been playing with graphene, since I explained to you how they get graphene. Natural graphite usually is associated with such impurities as quartz, mica, iron oxide, and granite. This goes back to 1983 and 1985. Synthetic graphite is produced by heating a mixing petroleum coke or coal, a binder. Well, as soon as I read that, I said, well, that can't be good for my lungs if you're shooting this into the air. This can't be good. Like wait, are you shooting this? Wait, where are you shooting this, bro? Wait, what? Are y'all sure you're just using this on the enemy? An enemy like at war? Are you sure? Are you one that? Because no. Because I'm only asking because y'all don't. It seems like sometimes y'all don't always tell the truth. You understand? Did a show last night. Found out Hunter Biden's riding around America like a big shot, taking diamonds as payment for all type of shady business deals. I don't know what to believe anymore. My confidence in government is dwindled down, as many others have dwindled down, right? You tell us things and then you say things. There was once a guy who was in charge of viruses. I think he was called something like the lead virologist or something like that, right? Many people call him Dr. Evil, but not many people call him Dr. Fauci too, right? Recently he has retired because he said it was time to go. I don't know why it was time to go. You was there 30 years eating well, high on the hog, right? But anyway, during his tenure in this position, this guy flip flopped around like a fish out of water trying to get air, right? Oh, wear the mask. No, don't wear the mask. No, I think you better wear the mask, right? You're the best we got. What kind of mask, bro? What kind of mask is efficient? Never told us. Just wear a mask. It was the uttermost ridiculous thing I've seen because you went to work, people had t-shirts over their face, napkins, whatever. People started wearing ridiculous masks. They started wearing stick-up masks. Like shit it had made no sense, bro. Aldo says, so you saying they found another way to decrease the population? No. But that's a good thought. That's what you're saying. And I cannot say I disagree with you. Because I'm going to tell you this: coal inside your lungs is not going to help. It says graphite pneumocosis is a well recognized pulmonary lesion that is found in workers and involved in the mining and processing of graphite. So, like Aldo 260 has suggested, this is not going to expand your life. I can tell you that. Not when you blanket out the graphite like that. It's not going to, and you inhale it It's not is it going to expand your? I don't know how it's going to expand your life when there's evidence right now that we're looking at something called graphite pneumocosis that leaves lesions on your lungs, blood. And this data is going back to 1968. Hmm. Nonetheless, that was a rabbit hole. Didn't even mean to go down that rabbit hole. But the information could be stored and utilized for something else. Graphite blanketed out like that is not the same as me putting a more concentrated dose of graphite in your body, right? The effects are going to be different. Now, if I can figure out how to get it included just in your system somehow, right? Never mind the lungs, because if we know now, if we're going to inhale this stuff, then it has the potential to create lesions on the lungs. But what if it's not in the lungs, but it's sometime how can get into your bloodstream at a smaller dose? Hmm. At a smaller dose. Could this be used now? I already told you what graphene does. I already told you what graphite it can do. I already told you that you already know. I didn't tell you that that water is conducive, highly conducive. You should know that. Your parents should have told you that, or your guardian should have told you that. Somebody at the group home should have told you this. You should know this. You should know this. Water is highly conductive. Your body is over 70% water, as is the earth. Not only is your body over 70% conducive because of water, but you have other minerals in your body. How did you get these minerals in your body? Why are the same minerals that are on the planet Earth inside your body? I love planting seeds. I'm amazed of where things go, right? I'm saying things and your boy Aldo 260 is having a separate conversation, but it's parallel at the same time. You understand? He's having a separate conversation, but it's a necessary conversation at the same time. I love it. Now, let's look at something. That's how you build, right? When I'm talking, right? This is a true building session this morning. I wasn't talking about that, but I'm watching what he's saying, right? So he's giving me ideas now. So still sharpening steel. We bouncing ideas off each other, right? So as I'm giving my perspective of something, he's coming back saying, "Yo, Lord, check this out." You see what I'm saying? Like blue and cream, like woo. You understand? You're like, no, Saladin, I don't understand. That's because you didn't get the Ghostface album, sucker. How dare you come on this live and you don't understand my analogies because you're not in tune with hip hop. Come on, bro. Stop playing games. Aldo said, why are the same elements in the stars in us as humans? Woo. nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, right? Right? This is the conversation this morning. That's what got me to thinking, okay, you was how many years old when you found out gold was in your body? What? You thought they was talking about a different iron. All the so many elements that you hear about out. Wait, that's in my body? The elements from the earth, from the planet is in my body? Holy Bible, Genesis 2, chapter 2, 7th verse. And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils and the breath of life, and man became a living soul. I'm sorry. Let me you understand? Look you in your face and all that when I'm talking to you, but never mind what I'm about to show you. Let's focus on this right now. You understand? Because we want to understand understanding. Do we not? If you understood your anatomy and your biology, which they clearly don't want you to understand who you are and your capabilities, clearly, because it seems like I should be the way I'm designed now that I'm understanding how the earth, what the earth is doing, and how the earth is emanating a certain radiance of electricity and magnetism that affects matter, right? It affects matter. Now that I'm understanding that there's certain things called free electrons that kind of break away from an atom and could go somewhere else. And it could bind to another atom, but then it would create something different, right? Now that I'm understanding that the metals that's in me that could help restore cells, like I may not be the most articulate scientist because I'm just understanding this, but I'm seeing the connection between the electromagnetism and the materials in my body. And then, boom, what do I realize? I realize that rubber is an insulator that blocks the electric charge that I may need naturally. And how often am I on these? I'm always on this insulation, right? That is blocking that charge that I may need. I'm running around with these sneakers. Then you realize Balenciaga went up the game, didn't they? They went and was like, you know what? Let's not go with the thin version. Them and Nike. Nike went stupid dumb thick with the insulation, right? Air Force Ones. And they made the black man out here. He was the number one supporter of Air Force Ones. We definitely don't want you to have no restoration of your cells. Check out these Air Force Ones. Oh, those ships is fire. I'ma need those. You need the all white and all that? You need the all white? Hell yeah, I need the all white. I need several pairs. Oh, take them, take them. Let us make money off your ignorance while we at it, right? Because it probably cost us under $5 to make these joints, and then we're gonna charge you $100. Yeah. Charge you $100. This is where understanding of your understanding helps you, because now that once you understand the game, and I use game loosely, right? This is science I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about, this is mathematics I'm talking about. Pure mathematics. So there's a phrase that says numbers, people lie, numbers don't lie. People and numbers lie all the time. Mathematics does not lie. Know the difference. People lie, numbers lie. Mathematics does not lie. Mathematics, I don't even think could lie. So Nike went here with it. Balenciaga went here with it. They came outside with the stupid big insulated shoes, and they charged you more. Yeah, we want to. If you really not want to be connected to Mother Earth, buy these joints for $2,000. Hell yeah, give me those too. Imagine paying for your demise. Then what did we do? Well, let's keep the pattern up, right? Because if you're gonna be walking, we definitely don't want them to get that connection. But let's also put them in four-wheel rubber cars, four-wheel cars grounded by rubber wheels. I'm not truly sure. I got an idea. I'm not truly sure what that electromagnetic field can do to the human anatomy. I got an idea already. I do believe it would restore and heal the body faster. Hear me and hear me well. I'm not saying that this is going to be the cure for cancer. That's not what I'm saying. But I do believe that it would have effect on the oxygen that is stored in your muscles, because there is a relationship between electricity and certain ions. So you would not be able to convince me that there would not be a beneficial effect. You would not be able to convince me if we got rid of our sneakers and we went natural. Hmm. Now, while we dwell on that, let's go back to the question of how did these minerals get in us in the first place? Because I just read this, right? And this is saying, because a lot of people, they trust this with all their soul. This is the Holy Bible. In chapter 2, Genesis 1, or should I say Genesis 1, chapter 2, when I go down to the 7th verse, it says, "And the Lord God formed man out of what? Of the dust of the ground." So This is telling a story that from the ground you was created. This is telling a story. You see this? You see this? You see this? This is telling a story of a God that took dust from the ground, took the ground. This is what I'm just reading this. And breathed into its nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. Okay. Now, logically, I know that that story was inspired by a earlier story, which pretty much that story just copied from. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody calm down. Don't nobody go nowhere. Everybody just relax. I know this is cognitive dissonance. Everybody just chill. Don't nobody make a move. Easy in a start. Easy in a start. Don't wig out. Do not wig out. It happens. You understand? It happens. Pretty sure they didn't mean any harm by it. They was just trying to control some people. You understand? They was going to use what was already there, and they was going to use it to control some other people. They was going to retell the story, change some names around. It's all good, baby. It's all good. The underlying principle of the story has never changed. But if you don't mind, I would like to go, instead of going to the variation of the story, I would like to go to the root story of where this variation was more than likely taken from. If you don't mind, not to offend anybody, right? Because I know we're all of different beliefs here, right? I want to introduce you to somebody. Introduce you to somebody called Ninhursag. Now, I don't want to read the whole thing, but this here is off of World History Encyclopedia. Let's see how it sounds. It says listen to it, but I don't know how it sounds. Let's see how it sounds. Ads playing is crazy. I'm good. I'm good. That's where you lost me. Should have just played it, bro. No one wants to hear your ads. No one wants to hear your ads, blood. Now, I will read it. Ninhursag, also Ninhursager, is the Sumerian mother goddess of one of the oldest and most important in the Mesopotamian pantheon. She is known as the mother of the gods and the mother of men for her part in creating both divine and mortal entities. She replaced the earlier mother goddess Namu, also known as Nama, whose worship is attested as early as dynastic 3 of the early dynastic period. Ninhursag had many different names given in various myths according to her particular role or the theme of the story. Right? Now, not saying that they had it all right, but they got most of it right as I'm reading this. And the main thing I want you to walk away with is that she is known as one of the earliest goddesses known for creating man, earlier than Judaism, earlier than Christianity, earlier than Islam. Very early, right? Let us move on. She was originally known as Damkina and Damganuna in Sumer. I don't know that. I've never heard that, but it's something to research. I'm not saying that part is true. I'm not saying it's not. I have never heard that. Nurturing mother goddess associated with fertility in the city of Malgam. Her husband, consort, was Sa-pa-e, a minor god associated with the underworld in whom she had 3 children. All right, I'm not saying those names, right? She is more frequently depicted as the wife consort of Enki, god of wisdom, among other attributes. This part I have heard. I had heard that part. Ninhursag, Lady of the Mountain, and comes from the poem Lugal, in which Ninurta, god of war hunting. Okay, that's, I don't need to read that. I'm just seeing what's. Another of her early names is Ki or Kishar, identifies as the Mother Earth. She was often invoked by mothers as she was thought to form and care for the child in the womb and provide food after he or she was born. Ninhursag is one of the four creating deities in the Sumerian religion belief, along with Anu, Enlil, and Enki, and is frequently mentioned in many of the most important Mesopotamian myths. So, that you do know, Inky and Ninhursag are half brothers and sisters, as well as Enlil. And Anu is the father, right? This seems to be have been okay in ancient times, and including Egyptian times, where brothers and sisters were expected, at least half brothers and sisters were expected to mate and produce an offspring so that they can keep things in the family, like Hunter Biden tried to keep things in the family after his brother, may he rest in peace, passed away, and Hunter Biden was at the funeral humping on his late brother's, not even ex-wife, right? She was a widow. But Hunter is Hunter. Don't get me started on Hunter. If you want to hear more about Hunter, I did a show on him last night, and you can hear more there. Or you can wait during the week where I'm sure I will be covering Hunter again. Anyway, let us move on. Enki and Ninhursag. The Sumerian myth Enki and Ninhursag tells the story of the beginning of the world in the Garden of Paradise known as Dilmun. Ninhursag, depicted as a young and vibrant goddess, has retired for the winter to rest after her part in creation. Enki, god of wisdom, magic, and fresh water, finds her there and falls deeply in love with her. They spend many nights together, and Ninhursag becomes pregnant with a daughter they named Ninsa, Lady of Vegetation. Ninhursag blessed the child with abundant growth, and she matures into a woman in 9 days. That's crazy talk. What? 9 days? When spring comes, Ninhursag must return to her duties of nurturing living things on Earth and leaves Dilmun, but Enki and Ninsar remain. Yeah, I can tell you right now. Enki was a wild boy, so Enki did sleep with his daughter and his granddaughter. Like, he was totally out of control. He was out of control in the story, right? So I'm really looking for anything that would start, because I got a video anyway, so it doesn't matter if they start to tell it and they don't. I just want to see what this worldhistory.org website is saying about the creation of man. Okay, I see something down here. Doom, doom, doom. Okay, let's start right here. Let's start right here. It is possible that the story comes from the later period in Mesopotamian history. However, in giving the loss of stature of the goddess in the myth, a later date is most likely. Although one may be tempted to locate this tale prior to Enki and Ninhursag, because she is known by her earlier name in history, such as claims unattainable. The names of the goddess change from story to story and are no aid in dating particular texts, save perhaps in the those identifying Ninhursag as the early. Okay, let's just get on with the story. The story opens with the younger gods weary from all the endless toil. Obviously, they're talking about the Ajiji, right? When they're talking about the younger gods, because they were working all the time. What were they working on? They were digging for gold, right? They needed gold for their planet, so they were down here digging for it. They are forced to dig canals and harvest fields and engage in all kind of menial labor, which prevents them from greater work of any kind of leisure. Now, I did find it interesting that they did not specifically point out what these younger gods were digging for, right? Was that on purpose? Of course it was. It was a rhetorical question. They don't want you to know that they were digging for certain minerals, and because they don't want you to find out why, what for. Doesn't matter. Let's continue on. These Anyway, these younger guys, they're tired. They cry out to Enki to do something to help them. But Enki, represented as the supreme god, is resting after the effort of creation and will not wake. Enki's mother, Namu, hears the cries and carries their tears to Enki, waking him. Enki is annoyed with the request, but consents to his mother's wishes that he create beings who will ease the god's burden. He asked her to work with Nima and other fertility goddesses to create human beings and give them life. Okay, we're almost there. Once humans have been created, Enki holds a great banquet in the celebration. All other gods praise his wisdom, and the younger gods are relieved of their labors. Enki and Nimba sit drinking beer together and eventually become quite drunk. Okay, Nimba challenges Enki to a contest of sorts, saying how the human bodies Enki's design may be either good or bad, but their fates will be good or bad depending entirely on her will. Wow. Enki accepts her challenge, saying, whatever fate you decide, good or bad, I will improve it. Okay, here we go. Nimma makes a man whose hands are weak, and Enki improves his life by making him a servant of a king. Oh, okay, so they're going back and forth that way. I've heard this story. I've heard this story. Elaborate on that, or Aldo. Aldo 260 says, that's you. Elaborate, my brother. Elaborate. Here we go. Here we go. I think this one would tell us something good, right? Okay, this is the Epic of Adrahesis. Adrahesis. Crazy. Ninhursag also appears in the Adrahesis. Now, so that you're not totally confused, there's a few tablets, right? There is one called Inky and Ninhursag, right? And um Inky and Ninma. There's one called uh I've read Inky and Ninhursag, Inky and Ninma, but then there's another one called the Epic of Adrahedras, right? So let's look at that one for a second. Ninhursag also appears in the Adrahedras where she fashions humans out of clay, right? Now this I'm introducing this story because this story is older. Again, it's very important to remember. It's older than the religions that we know now. Am I crapping on religions? It's important for you to also know just because I don't have a religion, I don't crap on the religions. I don't like the fact that they don't tell the history, the true history from where they got their knowledge. But I think religion can be beneficial for many people because it keeps you in a routine, right? It keeps expectations for your principles to and how you're going to move out here on the earth, right? So if you're part of a religion and they don't believe in stealing, they don't believe in sleeping with someone else's wife, they don't believe in uh, murder without a great cause, you know what I'm saying? Then it gives order to that civilization, how no matter how small or big. So just so you get a better understanding, I think people misunderstand me when I say I don't have religion. Right? That don't mean I want you. I'm not trying to convince you not to have religion. No, please, please continue to wake up and go to church. Please wake up and go to the mosque. Please wake up and go to the temple. The only thing that I ask is you um that you take it seriously. Otherwise, what you doing it for? You understand? What if you're not going to take it serious? Then you might as well just drop out and stay home and watch wrestling. Because you're not applying anything that you learn in there. So it's a waste of time. It should be about self-development, spiritual development, no matter what religion that you're a part of. People always tell me about who's a hypocrite and this over here. I don't like to go to church because they hypocrites in there. What you worried about them for? What are you worried about other people? You have the wrong mindset from day one. You walked in a place looking at other people and what they do, and I ain't gonna be there. These people is hypocrites, bro. I think you're really scared that you might end up a hypocrite. So never mind everybody else. Just say, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'm out here loving what I do. You understand? I'm out here freestyling every day. I don't know what I'm going to get into and if I'm going to get out of it, right? Just tell the truth. You like not having any type of discipline. You enjoy it. Your body craves it. Just tell the truth. Because we already know that your body does crave no discipline. We know this because it does it not just for you, it does it for all of us. This is how we know. You can't lie to us. We already know the truth. Nobody really want to get up and go to the gym. People do it because they know they expect an outcome. They would like to sit right there and eat some crazy food and have sex all the time. That's what they would prefer to do. But that's not going to give them the desired outcome. So they do something different. And that's that. Now, let's get back to Ninhursag. In this story, one of the earliest stories, of the gods creating man out of dirt, clay, if you will. Because I asked, how did those minerals get inside the human? We got iron in us, we got calcium in us, we got graphite allegedly in us, we have gold in us, potassium in us. Ninhursag also appeared in the Adrahegis, where she fashioned humans out of clay and mixed with the flesh, blood, and intelligence of one of the gods who sacrificed himself for the good of the many. All right. There's a story right there, right? DNA of the gods, or another species, if you will, mixed with the human, Homo sapiens sapien, that was allegedly, according to this story, made out of clay. The Adrahegis also gives Enki as a creator of humans who devises them as a means to relieve the gods of the burden of work. Okay. Let's watch a little video, see what happens here.
Did modern life on Earth evolve over millions of years, or was it created in the blink of an eye by God? This is a binary choice that most humans have accepted since the mid 19th century. And before that, there was simply the single explanation: God created man. But for the last 160 years, a battle has been waged between the scientist and the creationist. The scientific evidence is clear. The Earth is about 4.5 billion years old, and all life evolved from primitive, single celled organisms. Nevertheless, biblical literalists reject this evidence and operate from the viewpoint that the Bible's book of Genesis is a historical account of creation. Perhaps the most fundamental tenet of the ancient astronaut hypothesis is that it offers a third option, an option that is based on the scientific principle of evolution and the oldest stories known to humans about our creation. It is in the ancient Sumerian text that we actually find accounts that combine evolution and creationism, stories of an ancient race known as the Anunnaki. Throughout the millennia, world religions and literature have possessed a recurring theme of the creation of man from clay. Interestingly, the role of clay minerals in the origin of life can be suggested even scientifically because of the ordered arrangement of the clay mineral particles, the large absorption capacity, shielding against ultraviolet radiation, ability to concentrate organic chemicals, and ability to serve as polymerization templates. Also, clay minerals act as very efficient catalysts in the polymerization of amino acids and nucleotides, thus supporting the possible existence of an RNA world preceding a cellular world. So, ironically, the scientific data obtained so far suggests that clay minerals played an active role in the abiotic origin of life as it pertains to Darwin's concept of evolution.
I don't know nothing about Darwin's concept, but the concept of the tree I'm barking up, because I just came here to ask, how did these minerals get in us? So it appears that, from what I'm hearing, there might be scientific evidence or a theory, not really evidence, that can support what the Bible is saying and what the Epic of Adrahasis also is saying, that some entity actually did create man out of the earth. Do we know that to be true? I mean, we don't know it to be true. We got a belief system that we can rely on, but the evidence is there, because that which is in the ground is also within us. Now, I'm not going to play this whole video because I played it before. And if you really want to see it, you can just go over to Beyond You TV, and it is in the Ancient Astronaut Vault, and you can watch it there if you really wanted to see it, right? I already played it. Today was about planting seeds. What would I desire you to walk away with? Understanding your anatomy a little bit better, but not only your anatomy, right? Because I obviously you heard of taking iron pills and all these different pills of metals, of materials that could be in your body, but how the earth itself emanates an energy that is directly, that can directly affect your body. Now, what does that mean? I don't know if I have a definitive answer on for you on that. I don't have a definitive answer, right? Does that mean that the astrologists can better determine or give you some advice on your pathway based on the history of energy and what your zodiac sign is? Is there a system to look at these patterns of energy and say, listen, I like Aldo's 260. I like Aldo. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm gonna say pause there because it sounded like it needed a pause because I said I like Aldo's 260, and I don't know what the 260 is, but I doubt I like Aldo's 260. I highly doubt it. But Aldo 260s, I like his answer. He says, "Know thyself. Know thyself, people. This is a journey, right? So this is just merely seeds, right? So you know thyself, but part of knowing yourself is knowing the earth that you're on, that you come from, right? Once you discover yourself and you find out, okay, multiple sources say I come from the earth. If I'm gonna know myself, then I must know the earth too, right? Let me get a understanding of how this energy, this electromagnetic energy, is created and how does it correlate to me. You are a conductor in many ways of electricity. Everything that is electrified immediately creates a magnetic field around it. You have to be affected by this somehow, right? So, therefore, we have to take more consideration. Like I said, Aldo says, simply know that self, be more aware. I don't think you always have to go to a psychic or a prophet or botanica or witch doctor, the old lady at your church. Sometimes you just gotta pay more attention to yourself. Just stop. Just a lot of times people want to stop, right? And they can't stop what they're doing. They just don't know how to stop. And I think this is a good sign when they start tearing up and they start crying and because they, even though their body doesn't know how to stop whatever they're doing, there's something inside that's still alive that's like, yo, we gotta stop. That means it's something still there that cares. Once that's gone, though, I think that person is gone. They just out here, they don't care. But some people care, they just don't know how to stop what they're doing. And I think I don't think you're lost. I think you having a hard time grappling on how to control. And I'm probably always going to tell you the same thing Aldo 260 said, right? Start with self first, right? And then stop whatever it is you're doing. And then start from the most elementary building block. Like just start from the bottom. Start to build that back up. But differently, right? Don't keep doing the same thing. Somehow, some way. Because we are creatures of habits. So it's very easy to say, don't keep doing the same thing. That's easy. I could tell you, don't do the same thing. That's mad easy when you're in the same environment and you're used to repetition and you're used to the same thing, right? So you will develop the answers because now that you know, you got to do something different, right? I don't know if that is developing a new pattern or moving or rearranging people, places, and things. The answers will come to you. The answers will come to you. All right, what time is it? Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Yeah, I think I want to leave with a song too. I came in with a song of mine, And I think I want to leave with a song of mine. You understand? Let's see. I came in with the upside down. Dream. Dream. Dream.
Hey, wife made me a drink, yeah, Tom Collins. We celebrating in that house, we just left apartment. It started as a convo, trusted and believed each other. Instead of proving that we really didn't need each other's pieces. When we broken, we complete each other. You got the money, but no love. How you need for nothing? It's not a puzzle, missing pieces, they go seeking something. Life lessons, you gon' learn them, no degree or nothing. My favorite color is love mixed with some harmony. A touch of realness and a splash of some honesty. Until you see that picture, you ain't seen no art yet. This ain't at the expo, this ain't at the market. A dying breed think they just forgot to chalk it. Different meanings, life missions and the conquest. Dreams to realities, the hardest, but regardless, you was shooting at the stars, and I just gave your ass a target now. Dream, dream. You can't stop me now, baby. Dream. If you can't stop me, don't forget to just dream. You can't stop me now. Dream. Dreams of being a star in a circle full of the A-listers, but she's at Starbucks, just circling all the days they give us. Shorty's on the A-list. Shorty is a barista, and since life is such a fight, Shorty is also a contender, but people too quick to judge. They calling her a pretender, but baby girl, she gon' make it. I'm praying that she remember all the nights that she sacrificed her passions over dinner, whether they deep or not. Them scars, they coming with you. Now it's 10 years later, and it's made back curtains. It's harvest season, baby, time to reap what you've been sowing. Hard work paid off, epitome of focus. 9 years invisible, the 10th year notice. 20 odd jobs, couple times been homeless. The journey got lonely, got depressed for a moment. The beginning was the word, she wrote it and God spoke it. You can wake up, baby girl, you was created with a purpose now. Dream, dream. You can't stop me now, baby. Dream. If you can't stop me, don't forget to just dream. You can't stop me now. Dream. Dream.